Hi Timid magazine, this is Min-yeong Choi.
I'm Gia Kim, and we are from the cast of XO Kitty.
Well, I saw the open cast call and I went for it, and thankfully I got it. And first of all, I saw all three movies, so I was excited to join that universe. And at the same time, I was excited about Day, but I was excited about to join like Kitty's journey. It was like Kitty's journey now, so yeah.
Yeah, when I saw the open call too, they had breakdowns of all the characters they were looking for, and I just knew from just the character descriptions that this was going to be a really refreshing show because there's so many different types of characters I haven't really seen on screen yet. So that in itself was really exciting to see that, oh, they're creating a show like this, you know, so that was exciting. Personally, I mean, it was really, because she is also a very different person from the person I am, and it was obviously the hardest part is always trying to find the common ground and trying to get into her life, right? But I think at the core of it, we're both human beings. I've been in high school, I've had struggles with my mom for sure, I just reminded myself that at the core of it all, we just both want to be seen, heard, and appreciated for the person I am and be loved for who I really am. So once I connected with her at that level, then the rest kind of fell into place more naturally. I think that's how I went about exploring her.
I think for me, it might be harder to show different parts of your character, but I think I am more interested in playing a character that's not one-dimensional. So I was happy about that Day didn't only have the part with his friends or with Kitty. I was so happy about that he had like things and stories with his family too, which really helped creating Day, and which is always in Day. So
it makes our world richer.
Yeah. So that was fun. About that, I think even I lived in Korea for like almost all through my life, so I wasn't that I was unknowledged about underknowledged.
잘 몰랐다.
I
didn't know too much about
I didn't know too much about it. So I've learned a lot of things like culture and, as you said, sexuality. I've learned a lot while I was preparing and shooting this show. So it was for sure different. It was a different experience for me, and I'm so thankful that I got to experience this experience, and I really hope this show could help a lot of people like me think about it and get to know about these kind of things more.
Well, for myself and for Yuri, I identify as a TCK, which is a third culture kid, which only I guess third culture kids would know. Everyone else is like, what is that? But it's basically like I grew up in Hong Kong and Korea. I went to an international school. People assumed that I grew up here, but I didn't. So coming here was also in itself an experience, a new learning experience for me, because being Korean American is a whole other experience than being a Korean from another Korea, you know, and I always feel like I'm kind of in between those two worlds too. Yeah, it's an interesting position to be in because, I don't know, so I think that's where Yuri is. And she's definitely experienced more culture growing up abroad as well, and she's more, but then her family is very conservative Korean, and not only are they conservative, they have a reputation as, you know, they have an image that they need to portray to the world, and she's kind of like locked into this box that she has to fit into, but then she like is desperately wanting to break out of that box, and I think that is her biggest struggle, especially because she's a teen and we're all trying to figure out who we are when we're that age. So it was easier for me because I guess I also grew up in a similar environment of like having my 2 feet in both different worlds and trying to figure out where do I belong. And okay, I get that I'm in like a third culture bubble situation too, and how do I balance both things, you know? So my personal experience definitely helped me to get into Yuri's character too.
First of all, I am, of course, glad about this change, and I feel lucky that I'm working and getting opportunities, getting help from that situation. But at the same time, I feel like I always want a little bit more. So like I don't feel like this is what we like. This is the end of what we want. So I just wanna, you know, 힘을 보태고 싶다.
You want to contribute to
Yeah, I want to contribute to that change a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, we are very proud as Koreans that Korean content is being well known around the world. We grew up watching great stuff all the time, but then now it's like, thanks to streaming platforms, more people can enjoy it with subtitles, obviously. But yeah, like he said, I think the thing that's one of the many things that are great about the show is that it's not about being Korean, you know? It's not about being a certain race. Whereas a lot of, I think, content we've seen so far, especially produced in Hollywood, is like, it's about being a certain culture, about like that becomes like almost too big of a theme, whereas it's just being human, right, is really what we're trying to portray. And of course culture is going to be a part of it, but it doesn't have to be the main focus. And I feel like this show, obviously it takes place in Korea, so a lot of Korean culture is like naturally in there, but I think it's great that it's just telling a human experience through all these different characters from different backgrounds and ethnicities, and I think that's what makes this show special too. Enemies to lovers for me, because I think as soon as you see two people don't get along, you want them to get along, whether they're lovers or friends.
Really?
You know?
I don't.
Yeah, really? No, because okay, I guess
No, I really don't actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
Okay, so what's your trope?
Oh, I would say first love, always and forever.
He's just
But like
biased.
personally, no, I really do.
Okay.
I really do like love lines like that. Like for example, like Our Beloved Summer. There's a Korean 그의 우리는, like things like that. I feel just
Yeah.
so warm-hearted and like oh.
Yeah, of course. For Yuri and Kitty, for sure, I think, and I think that's why I like their dynamics, because it's like, it's kind of like, I guess I like it because it's breaking judgment, like the initial judgment you make on a person, and then you realize, oh, that's not it, and I shouldn't have judged this person this way. Like, get to know them more, and then, you know, you'll find you have more common ground and you can love the other person. And I think that's also something that I experienced in high school. If I have two girlfriends who like maybe have beef because of this boy or something, I would want them to be friends. Like, come on guys, like really, you guys are gonna get beef over a boy? Like, you guys can really be good friends. And it actually happened one time. Like, I actually brought these two girls who hated each other together, and they became the best friends, and I was like, yes, this is what I want. And that's kind of what happens with, like, you know, Yuri and Kitty too.
And I think like why your like turn between like Yuri's turn between Kitty is really interesting is like it's not just enemies to lovers. It was you guys were enemies because of a different love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Kitty hated you because you were Dave's girlfriend.
Right.
And then falls in love.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like everybody was actually like surprised how like you know like how
We all got
casts
along.
could get along like this.
Yeah.
And yeah, Anthony and I had talked about this, and he was working in this industry for a long time because he was a young actor, and I was as well. So what happens in this industry is you become family for like 3 months or like 4 months, and then you become nobody after that. And that, like, if that repeats a few times, you start to close your heart. And that's what happened to me and Anthony. And I totally agree. Anthony said, like, he came to Korea to just work. I'm not there to make friends. You're not there to just like enjoy. You're just there to work. I'm just gonna work and go home. And I was like that too. And you know, like, our cast made us open again.
I love that. And I guess for me, it's different, but also a blessing in the sense that I don't have a reference point, but also I know that for everyone to get along and actually like each other is rare, and other crew members told us that too. Like,
Right.
This is rare, that there's no one hating each other, or so it's been a huge blessing, and I think that's why we were able to do so many fun activities. And a lot of half the cast is not Korean, so we were able to show them around, and introducing them to Korean food and culture is always fun for us to do, so that was fun too.
And now I came to LA, so
Yeah.
like Anthony's showing me stuff and things.
Vice versa. For ballad, I love singing Sunday Morning by Maroon 5.
Oh.
For rap, you've heard me do this. Lose Yourself by Eminem, because I love Eminem. Or any Big Bang songs, because
Right.
they just have all the hits.
Give me a second. I have to think about this.
He's an amazing singer, so he has a lot of choices.
I would say. There's a song from Crush. He's a Korean singer, and it's called "Hug Me," featured by Keiko. Yeah. I
like
I used to sing that song a lot. I think it was the most time I connected with my character as much. So I think the reason could be I was really close with the cast for real, and that helped a lot too. But like, just even like really tiny storylines affected me a lot in real life too. So like, for example, I think we talked about this, but did we? I think we did. At first, Yuri and Dae is not in a comfortable like relationship, and like I actually didn't feel really comfortable when I was only with like Gia. Did I not tell you?
I think we talked about it.
Yeah, I think we
briefly.
talked about it.
Yeah.
But like, for real, I'm not joking. I felt that, and like at that time, I wasn't sure like if it was like me getting affected by my character or the storyline. I was like, do I not like Gia? Like, I wasn't sure, but like after a few times, after a while, of course now I love Gia, and we're so close. Everybody's so close, so.
No, but it's hard because we met for the first time, and we've never worked together. We have this weird relationship where I'm like bullying him a little bit, so I think that's natural.
And like, I'm just like telling you an example of it. Like with everyone else, it really did affect it a lot. So just connecting that much with my character, I think, I'm not sure if that's the way I wanna, like lead my acting life, but definitely it is an experience I wanted to have.
Yeah, and I think I just loved being Yuri, honestly, because she taught me a lot of things. She embodies a lot of traits that I would like to embody for myself, such as being comfortable taking up space, being seen by people. Obviously, she has her own struggles, but it just was a very self-reflective process trying to get into her life, and just learned a lot from like just her own arc of trying to find her voice, being herself, finding the courage to be like, this is me, love me for who I am. Like that whole journey taught me a lot as well, and obviously reminded me of my high school days when I had no boundaries, I did not know who I was, and trying to be people please everyone. I think that really, yes, I loved learning from her. That was my favorite part.
She is a cool character.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch EXO Kitty now, only on Netflix.